react in love and self-sacrifice, and another person react in hate and in cruelty. And so, anyway, that's something that when we're under pressure, whether we're going to be in that moment. The liberty which they first of all strike down Frederick the abolitionist. Like truth, the value of liberty is responsibility for the fall. And so that's pretty strong of how valuable liberty is. And I think liberty is foundational because without liberty, there's oppression, and when you have oppression, you have no justice. And so even things like justice are subject to liberty. Courage, the rarest of the good qualities in humans. So when it comes to, the divisiveness that's been going on in our country lately, the Republican versus Democrat, the left versus right, Satan plays both sides, and so it's not necessarily that a conservative or a liberal is the problem. It's the devil playing the worst parts of those things, of those groups, that is the problem. And so Satan plays both sides against, and we've seen that more today than I think you've ever seen our country being more divided than we've ever seen it before. And so two versions of the same thing. Jesus united the conservatives, which were the Pharisees, and the liberals, which were the Sadducees of his day. Both sides were enemies, but they were united in their hatred of Jesus Christ. Ty Gibson. So the true division is between love, selflessness, and hate, selfishness, which leads to oppression and lies, or freedom and truth. So I think the problem that we see whenever, whether it is the left or the right, is when authoritarianism starts. We see on the left, we see the leftist kind of Marxist march towards socialism and authoritarianism. And on the alt-right, it may take the shape of dominionism, theocracy, Islamic radicalism, or Christian fundamental radicalism, where we want to get rid of the church and the state and unite them under a theocracy or something like that. And so, and sometimes authoritarianism comes more from the left, sometimes it comes more from the right. It just depends. When I was back in the 90s, when I was in high school, I felt like there was more of that coming out of the right, and then now it's definitely there's more of it coming out of the left in today's culture. But we need to be on guard because in the last days, Egypt is sometimes represented as godlessness, and Babylon is the false church, which we see as Catholicism united with apostate Protestantism. And so, according to prophecy, godlessness is not going to be the last thing that's going to prevail as far as evil. It's going to be the false church. And so socialism, socialism may be defeated at some point, but then we got to be expecting the attack to come from the right. So the attack may be coming from the left now, but eventually the final attack will be coming from the right, the greatest last deception. And so we've got to be careful not to be too tied into our, left versus right allegiance allegiances, we need to make sure we're be strong in the Lord, in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God so that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God so that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand firm. Ephesians 6:10 through 13. So, basically, the outline of my sermon is I'm going to talk about some of the deceptions that the devil has for people on the right, deceptions the devil has for people on the left, and then the deceptions that actually just come straight from the devil himself. And so that's going to be the general gist of the outline. But